Hello once again everybody, Hamster Sales here doing another Starcraft 2 commentary. Today is a ZVT versus uh, between Enigmatic, the red Zerg player in the lower left, and Havok, the blue Terran player in the lower right. If that name sounds familiar to you, it may be because you have seen Havok on YouTube. He broadcasts a lot of games of players like myself in the lower leagues. His handle on YouTube is Havok2727. I am subscribed to him in my channel, so you can find him that way if you don't remember what I said at the beginning of this video. His channel name is Angry Panda Gaming. Kind of a panda theme to my last two casts. Just cast Ponage Panda, another caster who was kind enough to send me his replay. Not sure what league Havok is in. I feel like I should know it. I've listened to quite a few of his replays. I don't know if he mentions it though in a lot of his casts. But regardless, we are watching a game here, ZVT, where the opponent, Enigmatic, is not electing to scout with his Overlord. That's okay. Maybe he wants to keep him safe and sound at his base. As when I'm playing against Terran, I'm super careful with my Overlord. I do like to send it to, actually I would have been quite lucky in this game. I always send it to whatever base has a safe place to send my Overlord, some kind of safe open expanse where he can float safe from marine fire. But yeah, Havok was kind enough to cast one of my games. Both he and Ponage Panda, pardon me if I get a little confused about the panda name sometimes. We're both extremely kind about casting my games. So they were also kind enough to send me replays, so I'm going to cast them. Up to this point, I've only casted myself, so forgive me if I'm not too great about casting games where I don't know what happens, but I am watching both the previous game I casted and this one without prior knowledge of what exactly goes on in the game. So that's a little new to me. But luckily both games have involved Zerg. They were kind enough to keep Zerg in the matchup, so I may know what's going on. Enigmatic, oh, what did I miss? Did he go 7 pool and send Lings around blindly? Did he know what's this guy doing? I'm sorry, I've been missing a major part of this game. Enigmatic was 6 pooling, and he must be doing, yeah, he did a 6 or 7 pool, and our hero Havok has a complete wall off. He has Marines ready, but man, he's got to hurry. These Zerglings, if they wanted to, maybe be able to take down the supply depot, but knowing that the Marine was on the way, Enigmatic backing off, Havok able to save the day, get a Marine on the ramp, prevent any shenanigans. This 7 pool seems to have been thwarted. Yeah, boy, I don't know why he was sending up there. I believe he had pretty early scout of Havok's base and elected to send his Zerglings over the north side of the watchtowers. And now these Zerglings, which could have been drones, are roaming the map aimless, without purpose. And that was a pretty early wall off by Havok. Sometimes with a 6 pool you can catch a Terran with their pants down, but Havok got the effective wall off here, 2 supply depots and the barracks. This Marine unfortunately trapped on the other side, but that happens. I feel lucky I don't have to wall off my base every single game when I'm facing Zerg, because that would be a pain. I am really bad at positioning buildings. Maybe it's just because I'm a Zerg player, but I do not envy you Terran and Protoss folks who have to learn how to do effective wall-offs and try to save your Marines from getting trapped on the outside there. But regardless, Havok doing... Oh, what is he doing? He is dropping a sneaky barracks within his cheesy Zerg opponent's base. That is going to go completely unnoticed, I believe. Yeah, otherwise he would be sending those Zerglings over. He is completely unaware of the proxy barracks inside his own base. This Overlord was too eager to rush out to an empty corner of the map where a drone is hiding, maybe for a proxy base, but Havok saving up some minerals here. He may be, don't know how you Terrans do it, but, he might be saving up, yeah, he's getting a factory here, and we are going to see some damage from this barracks. He may be able to pull up 6. Oh, Overlord spotting the proxy barracks inside his own base. And Enigmatic, do you like bases inside your own base? We will find out shortly. Maybe send those Zerglings out to take out that barracks. Maybe do that. Oh, getting some Banelings. But he may want to take out this barracks. I don't think he sees it yet. I mean, he definitely has vision, but he has not sent any Lings over to deal with it. You definitely want to deal with bases inside your own base. Come on, Enigmatic. I feel terrible rooting for the the opponent of my friend Havok here, but as a Zerg, I think I may be more biased that way. Plus, he left a pretty snarky comment about Terrans in one of my videos, so maybe that's just payback. But Havok, the very clever proxy racks that his opponent scouted but has done nothing about. Let's see what kind of damage he's able to do here. Has 2 Marines building, or built already rather, and he's elected to move his barracks here, get a reactor. He's going to build a critical mass of Marines, no doubt, and he might get some crazy pincer off. Still in a little bit of shock that Enigmatic has done nothing about the little blue box on his mini-map at the least. I mean, you know, no reason to be moving your game screen over this area, but Enigmatic moving out with actually a pretty nice force here. Looks like he may try to Baneling bust his opponent. This is what you think Havok has, but actually his ramp is completely open, so no need to try to Baneling bust. He may waste these Banelings on what is actually an open ramp on one of these supply depots. Hopefully he can react for his sake. Hopefully he can react well enough, but Havok may be in a good position to hold this if Enigmatic wastes some Banelings on supply depots when he doesn't actually have to. We will see. This is the moment. This is the tense moment. Is he going to do it? Yes! Just wasting those Banelings. Does take out all the supply depots, which doesn't even supply block Havok. And these Marines, can they take out the Zerglings? Some weird micro going on, not letting the Zerglings... Oh my god, they are running around in circles. And Havok able to completely massacre the Baneling bust. I have to say, his opponent had a superior force to him. And now he's got an even bigger base inside his opponent's base. Havok bunkering the Zerg. Oh my god. Enigmatic, what have you let happen inside your own base? Havok, you sneaky, sneaky Terran, you have done it. You have set up a bunker inside your opponent's base at around the 930 mark. Very well done. Enigmatic may still not see this. Yeah, he has no idea there's a bunker. He saw the barracks about 3 minutes ago, and he is trying to follow up with a 6 Zergling attack. Oh no, yes, Blue Flame going to be completely massacring that. Havok, I think, in prime position to move out, destroy his opponent at this point. Maybe that was just a bad rally. Enigmatic not realizing that he had a super aggressive rally still set to his opponent's base. Single Queen pooling tons of energy. Enigmatic just not prepared to transition out of his 7 pool, but still able to manage a pretty menacing Baneling attack squad, but wasting all of them on a supply depot. I mean, it wasn't a complete and total waste. The supply depots were still providing a decent wall for Havok, but all those Banelings and Zerglings could have flooded right through the gaping hole at the top of the ramp and killed those Marines and I think at the time 1 Hellion. But Havok now has the dreaded Blue Flame upgraded. He's got 6 Hellions. His opponent has not so many Zerglings. That is 10 Zerglings. And still has no idea there's a proxy base inside his base. Yo dog, I heard you like bases inside your base. Havok getting a sneaky expansion there. Usually that's a 3rd base, but electing to float a CC over to what is normally the 3rd base on this map. I don't think I've even mentioned the name of this map. It's Backwater Gulch. But now the deadly Hellion Death Squad moving in with the Blue Flame upgrade. Going to be able to roast all these Zerglings, I imagine, of Enigmatic. Now turning 5 of them into Banelings. Banelings quite effective against Hellions if you're caught unaware. Hellions could kite them for days, but they do not do their bonus damage against Banelings, as when you morph them, they lose their light armor attribute. They just become a normal unit. But Enigmatic going for the... Oh, he's going to attack the base inside his base. He realizes here, no doubt enraged, and able to take it out at the cost of about half of his army. Leaves the barracks alone, but here come the Hellions. Hellions against Roach, actually not that good a matchup. Havok going to want to micro these, maybe back to the worker line. But instead, engaging Queens and Roaches, forced to back out with these Blue Flame Hellions. Roach is great against the Hellions. I don't know if he really scouted it. I think he did send those Zerglings in, so new Hellions were on the way. Good transition into Roaches. Has a decent 6 Roach force here. Enigmatic going to want to focus on saturating his mineral line there. He's on a single base with Lair, but does not yet have the requisite amount of workers to gain full income from his first base. So Havok going to be able to be forced to lift his barracks here as the onslaught of Roaches approaches. That sounds pretty cool. Onslaught of Roaches approaches. Not correct grammar, but sounded kind of cool. And Havok, though, still has a SCV hidden. I wonder if that's going to lead to future shenanigans in this game. We're going to have to wait and see. That is a very, very sneaky place to hide an SCV. Tiny little tip of the ridge of this map here. But, yeah, for the meantime, going to be forced to lift that barracks off. And what are we up to here, Enigmatic? What is your plan now? Just continuing to produce roaches. Finally getting an expo. But you are behind, my friend. Havok has expanded up here and is going to come and destroy you soon. It looks like he has a pretty menacing force here. Much better army composition than his opponent. He's up by 13 supply. I can do math, I swear. Decent roach force. You know, let's check out the units tab. 13 roaches to 1 siege tank, 14 marines, and 9 hellions. Terran force definitely superior, but not by too much. The supply discrepancy is no doubt because he has a 7 SCV lead over his Zerg opponent. So 7 of that supply not going to be going towards his army. It's going to be going towards his economy. But the clash is no doubt going to happen at some point here. Havok has tons of blue flame hellions, so any single Zergling that Enigmatic produces is going to be completely useless. The roaches, however, pretty hard counter to the hellions, but these tanks, if positioned well, will do tons of damage to those roaches, which is why you don't normally see a large number of roaches like this in ZVT. Large number as far as the composition of his army. It's largely roach-based. Sending out some Zerglings. For his sake, I hope he morph those into Banelings. Going to be much more effective against what Havok is producing here. Havok sticking on a couple of factories, one with the reactor primarily for, well, only for Hellions, and of course the Tech Lab factory going to be producing those dastardly siege tanks, which have ruined mine and many other Zerg players' days. Going to be setting up the strong defensive position here above the ramp by his natural, and he has taken his natural base here. Going to be going on to 3 base soon, starting to saturate that second base of his. Enigmatic has a second hatchery, but virtually no saturation on that yet. Just a single drone, and if I'm not mistaken, he built that a hex too high. It looks kind of high above that mineral patch. Maybe I'm just seeing things though. Yeah, much shorter distance between Havok's base and his minerals than this fellow Enigmatic's. But looks like the Zerg push is coming with Banelings and Roaches. Going to have a difficult time against this number of Hellions on a ramp protected by siege tanks. And those siege tanks are going to work on those Roaches. Big hit on the Banelings by the siege tanks. Hellions are going to be pretty effective against the Banelings, even though they don't do that bonus damage. And some decent AoE going in on these Roaches. Are these Hellions going to be able to take out these weakened Roaches? I think they are. The AoE damage, despite not doing any bonus damage whatsoever against these Roaches, is going to be pretty effective, luring them back to the siege tank Arc of Fire. And that is going to be all she wrote for Havok's opponent's attack force. Pile of roach blood is all that is left, and this may spurn Havok to march and punish the Zerg opponent for his cheesy ways, for 7-pooling him, for endlessly attacking, for being a dirty Zerg bastard. Idle drones at the expansion that I think has placed a hex or two too high in Enigmatic space. Good saturation starting to happen here at Havok's, what was his first expansion, normally the third base, and tons of SCVs coming out for the second base, and a Raven. I love to see this from Terran players. I think a Raven, extremely underutilized unit. Saw a good amount of use in the beta, but not much after that. Some pro gamers were massing Ravens and dropping all kinds of turrets on people's base. Something I've long wondered why Terrans don't take more advantage of. It is pretty difficult to get in production. It takes tons of gas and starports and things, but Enigmatic running Roaches headlong to their doom. Super heavily fortified position by Havok. Would much prefer to see him try to maybe take out these back rocks, flood Zerglings in, maybe go Muta, do some harass there, but my Zerg brother Enigmatic here just electing to rush Roaches headlong into very powerful defense by Havok. Siege tank protected bunkers, not going to be taken down by a paltry number of Roaches. A rallied overlord, no doubt, sent to its doom, pelted down by bullets from the Marines in this bunker. Decoy bunker down here doing its job too, no Marines in that, but this bunker is getting all the work done. And what do we have here? Oh, the proxy barracks has gone back to its proxy ways, producing proxy Marines on this high ground here, so we have 5 Marines ready to do their thing over here on this side of the map. That's potentially sneaky somehow. I'm not quite sure how, but it just is when you have a barracks where it doesn't belong, producing Marines. You are doing something cool, Havok. And our Zerg protagonist is not doing too much. He's got 2 roaches out. No doubt disheartened by how many units he's thrown away against the vicious teeth of Havok's defense. Havok is situated quite nicely, both bunkers fully loaded, orbital command being produced at his natural. We have 3 orbital commands, or we will shortly have 3 orbital commands for Havok. Tons of income going to be flowing in from those mules. Currently has 1,500 minerals. Gonna hopefully be able to produce some more production structures, get a huge army as a result, and steamroll this Zerg who has not been able to recover from his cheesy 7-pool opening. And Havok, I'd like to see him maybe do something with these Marines. These guys, I feel, are, they're not technically any better, of course, but they are cooler Marines because they were produced in a crazy proxy location. So I'd like to see them get some sexy harass done. Oh, and this is going to be their chance. The third base of the Zerg going down right below their feet. Going to be able to take that out. He may even just wait for it to morph in, try to take out the fully constructed hatchery, not allowing his opponent to cancel. We will just have to wait and see. But this is where these Marines are going to do their work. This hero barracks from the very beginning of the game, or close to it, is going to be able to do its job. A spine crawler going into the north of the base of Enigmatic, no doubt terrified that barracks are just going to pop up in his base at any moment. Putting down a spire, so he's going to transition into mutas at the 23-minute mark, not quite standard, but you got to do what you got to do once your 7-pool fails. You got to find a way to claw your way back into the game. Havok has these all too deadly blue flame Hellions, a move I love from him. Gotta get your Hellions. Zerglings can destroy you if you're not well prepared. Marines not often not enough unless you get that critical mass of Marines. And Havok going to be pushing in with these Hellions. So the vision was granted by these hero Marines. They are not going to be doing the killing themselves, but Enigmatic not canceling the hatchery, Havok attacking just as it finished morphing. So like I was talking about earlier, Enigmatic not going to be able to recoup the 75% of the resources he spent on this hatchery. Somebody smarter than myself is going to have to do the math on 75% of 300. Yeah, it's going to be like 225 or something. And Enigmatic going to be able to clean up these roaches if Havok doesn't do something about it. Full health roaches is going to destroy these blue flame Hellions. No bonus damage going down on them. And yep, Havok deciding these Hellions are going to die. Oh, revealing the Marines too, and the hero proxy barracks. No, is it going to die? Cancels the add-on there. I didn't get a chance to see what that was, but Enigmatic sniffing out the hero proxy barracks. And I have a feeling that this barracks is still doing damage, though. It's got Enigmatic putting spine crawlers in the very north of his base. Very unusual. Enigmatic getting all kinds of tech structures and not yet producing anything from them. Still on 13 roaches. Does he have anything else in production? No, just more roaches. But who can blame him for building roaches when Havok produced that number of Hellions? But at the moment, producing no more Hellions, getting an additional Raven. I'm excited to see what he does with these Ravens that he's making. Not often used enough. Point defense drone, potentially very devastating tool, though. As a Zerg player, I really don't know what kind of shots it takes out. Let's see, cannot target special attacks. I imagine it'll shut down most ranged attacks from the Zerg. I know it takes down Mutalisk shots, but not so sure about things like Roach Acid Spray. I imagine it could take that stuff down. If anybody knows who sees this video, please comment whether or not point defense drones can take out acid spray from roaches. As we hit the 26-minute mark, we see that our opponents are sitting on 36 SCVs for Havok to his opponent's 24. We now have 5 Marauders, going to be great against those roaches that have been produced. Single Hellion survives, 2 Medivacs, 4 tanks, and 22 Marines to accompany 2 Ravens against a single Mutalisk and 16 roaches, the Zerg opponent's army. So getting late into the game here, still a fairly low number of units, but if Havok gets a peek at his opponent's army, he should know that this army could just wash over him. He has a much superior force. He's up 24 supply, so we're going to have to see what he does here. I'd love to see some harass with these Ravens, maybe attack the mineral line with some auto turrets. Does he have the upgrade for those turrets? I think is it the same same upgrade that upgrades Terran building armor? I don't know. That's something I'm going to have to research, which is good for me. I need to get as much knowledge as I can about this game. But there's the, I think it's like applied materials is the upgrade. 180 seconds sounds like an upgraded amount of time for me, but I know auto turrets last a ridiculous amount of time from when they were actually used against me in the beta. It has been quite a long time. I think since the beta, since they were used on me, maybe close to release, people were still using them. But love to see Ravens, a great unit, underutilized unit in the Terran arsenal, and of course this is an observer. This is really the only form of mobile detection for the Terran. Missile turrets are great and scan is great, but that's the only thing that can move and see cloaked units, folks. So even if you don't use their special abilities to the maximum, you're worried about using spellcasting units in your army, they will provide detection for you, which invariably will be useful against most Zergs, as they like to burrow things like infestors and roaches. But Enigmatic going for a roach mutalisk force here. Is he utilizing that infestation pit at all? No infestors are yet produced. Has corruptors on the way, so may transition this into a hive, get broodlords. Not quite so sure what he's afraid of in the air. He may have scouted these ravens. Let's check out the vision for both of our players here. Let's see what they're up to. What is Enigmatic doing? Let's check him out. He is got a bunch of crazy upgrades on the way. What are those? Terran this is all Havok stuff, actually. High-sec auto-tracking Terran ship weapons. Oh, we have some action on here. What did I just miss? We have Blue Flame, Hellion Harass. Take out the workers, Havok. You can do it. Nope, Mutalisk gonna come in, clean up. Reveals that he has Corruptors on the way, so if I were seeing that as a Terran, I would be worried about Broodlords coming in the not-too-distant future. But tons of mules being plopped down, tons of income for our Terran and our Zerg player. Absolutely nothing in production from our Zerg player, which I don't like to see. He is nearly supply capped. I'd like to see some of his 2k minerals going towards overlords, of course. But, you know, maybe he has better stuff to do right now. Some idle drones going on in the main base. Not too much saturation in the third. Having a difficult time transitioning out of that 7 pool. You know, I hate to hate to denigrate the player too much, but sometimes when all you do is 7 pool, you don't learn how to play the rest of the game. That might be what we're seeing from Enigmatic here. Hopefully he doesn't hear that from me, because that's pretty harsh from a player which might be in a lower league. But absolutely nothing in production. Only sees fit to build 2 overlords when he's supply capped at 94 and has 2.6k minerals in the bank. Don't be afraid to select your hatcheries and build tons and tons of overlords if you've got that much money. And look at this force here from Havok. 2 Thors, bunch of tanks, bunch of Marauders, the Ravens, the Medivacs. And just as I say that, he feels free to move out with a menacing 170 supply army. Oh gosh. Let's check out the army value. We have got 6k minerals and nearly 3k gas invested in the Terran army. Only 3k minerals and 1.6 gas invested in the Zerg counterparts army. So yeah, that's not the be-all end-all, but come on, if you look at this force and then you look at this force, I think we know what's going to happen, but let's just wait and see. The Thor is going to be all too effective against the Muta. Marines, of course, great against Mutalisks. He has a good amount of Marauders here, which are absolutely going to crush these Roaches. I don't expect any engagement between these two to last more than a few seconds. Banshees in the mix. Ravens could maybe be dropping some deadly turrets. No Hunter Seeker Missile research, which is unfortunate. That spell can be potentially devastating against Zerg, but third hatchery finally going down. Not too much health left on that from the previous Hellion Harass. And we see a few workers escaping. We're going to see the final engagement here, folks. Enigmatic is going to have to pull out a miracle. Can he do it? I don't know. Let's find out right now. Very balanced force from Havok rolling into the natural expansion of Enigmatic. I want to see some use from these Ravens. Don't get picked off by the Mutalisks. Drop your turrets. Do some damage. Oh my gosh, these Roaches are getting absolutely massacred. No need to siege up the tanks. They do great damage against Roaches. And that is going to be all she wrote, folks. Here comes the auto turret. Let's see some bad manner with auto turrets. Maybe a GG in his base spelled with auto turrets. But no, good manners from Enigmatic. I expect the same from Havok. He is concentrating on wiping out every last Zerg unit. GG, well played from Havok. And that was a fun one. Haven't casted the game not for myself. Thanks for sending it in, Havok. It was very fun to watch. Epic hero barracks play inside the base. Very, very good on you for making Ravens. I love to see those in use from Terrans. And yeah, keep up the great work. It was fun casting both you and Ponish Panda's games. Casting Panda's games. Check them both out. I casted this game second, so I should be putting it up second. I believe I casted them in the order I received the replays from these players. I apologize for how long it took. They sent them to me about 10 days ago. I've been busy and lazy. Bad combination. But thanks again for sending it in. And awkward sign-off. I don't know what to say. There's a bunch of toy dinosaurs on my desk. It's pretty weird.